Good morning. We are back in Exodus this morning. We're going to look at the seventh commandment. So that would be Exodus chapter 20 and verse 14. Exodus 20 and 14. And we're going to have some other scriptures as well. And as always, I'll put those down in the description so that you can find them later if you want to turn there and read the scriptures that go along with what we're studying today. So let's jump right in. Exodus 20:14 says, "You shall not commit adultery." All right, so adultery. As we know, as most people know, adultery is infidelity. It is betraying your covenant of marriage with your spouse. It has to do with a violation of that covenant, lusting after women or men, whatever. If you're a man, you lust after women. If you're a woman, you lust after men, and hopefully that's all. But if we're talking about adultery here, it seems like it's pretty straightforward, right? It's don't commit adultery. Don't cheat on your wife. Men, don't cheat on your wife. Women, don't cheat on your husbands. You're in covenant with them before God. This is your one and only, and you've made that promise not to betray that. Uh, so why do you think adultery is you know a big sin? I say big sin. All sin is big sin, but why do you think it's listed here? Well, to answer that question, we'd have to. We're going to look at some other scripture as well, but just plainly on the surface, cheating on your wife, that you have sworn before man and God that you would love and protect and you know this is your one and only. It is, like I said, a violation of what God had in store from creation for us. Man and woman, He created them separately and for one another, and it wasn't for us to just kind of run amok and do whatever we wanted to do. And so, whenever we interpret Scripture, and we have, let's say, we have this verse here: "You shall not commit adultery." Okay, one sentence. There's not a lot there to exegete, right? We would have to interpret that with other scripture that talk about the same thing. So I want to jump over to Matthew chapter 5 and look at Jesus's interpretation of "You shall not commit adultery." And in Matthew chapter 5, and looking at verse um, 21, is that right? No, 27, says, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. For it is better for you that you lose one of your members than your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members than that your whole body go into hell." So Jesus' explanation of "you shall not commit adultery" goes far deeper than just the surface of look, don't cheat on your wife, or don't cheat on your husband. It has to do not only with what you do, but with what you think. Um, and so he says, "But anyone who looks on a woman with lustful intent." This has to do with fantasies. This has to do with your thought process. The looking at the woman that walks by and you follow her with your eyes and those kinds of things. This is lusting after them in your heart. Nobody may ever know or ever see that you are watching this woman or thinking about this woman or watching her walk by, that kind of thing. But in your heart, between you and God, He sees what you're doing. And so everyone who looks with a lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. is thinking about this. He's fantasizing about this, and he's rolling it over and over and again. And I'm not just picking on the men; women do the same thing. And so, it is a sin, and it is a sin against not only God but against your own body. Um, it says, if your right hand or your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. Now, Jesus is not advocating self mutilation here. Okay, uh, what we see here is an illustration. If your right eye causes you to sin, so the things that you see affect the way you think. It spawns these thoughts and these feelings and these fantasies in your mind. So if what you're looking at causes you to sin, look away. And he goes on to say, if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. You, what is the hand? The hand is what you work with, right? It's what you do things with. And if your right hand, if what you're doing causes you to sin, if what you're doing causes you to lust and it spurns those thoughts and fantasies in your minds, then you need to stop doing it. Now, what does this look like? Well, this looks like porn. It looks like movies with sexual content. It looks like, like I said before, you see a woman walking down the street and you follow her with your eyes, or women looking at men, following the men with their eyes. Stop doing it. What Jesus is saying plainly here is, don't do it. Stop looking. Stop touching. Stop putting your hand to it. Stop doing the things that you're doing that causes all of these thoughts to flood your mind. And remember, the heart is deceitfully wicked. So once you start allowing this stuff to flow into your mind and into your heart, then at some point your heart's going to convince you that it's okay. You're just a man. That's what they say, right? This is what men do. This is what women do. And especially in today's society where, people don't have any, a large majority of people don't have any scruples or any boundaries or anything. They just kind of do things willy nilly, men and women alike. When I was growing up, women weren't that free about things like this. And that wasn't that long ago. I know I'm an older guy, but that still wasn't that long ago. And people that are older than me can tell you stories about their generations as well. But today's society, everything is out in the open. People sin, especially with this type of sin: sexual sin, lustful sin, adultery, and those kinds of things. Like, just out in the open. It doesn't matter who knows it, who sees it. There's no shame. There's no, like I said, boundaries or scruples. People just do what they want to do. I have a friend that went to New York City last year, and they told me, or a couple friends, and they told me, that um, somehow or another they landed there during, I guess, Pride Month or whatnot, and there were just people walking around on the street in New York City naked, just no shame. And of course, that causes people to lust and all that stuff. And it stirs up this big old pot of lust and sin. And Jesus said, and uh, I'm kind of picking on lust, I guess, here, but Jesus, this is the foundation, right? Jesus said, if you lust after someone in your heart, you've already committed adultery with them. And so we have to be careful about the things we see and think about, and we have to be careful about the things that we do as well. This is a serious matter, as all sin is serious. And so we must work on cleansing ourselves of this stuff, praying about this stuff, and actively avoiding um, the seeds of lust and adultery in our lives. Um, None of this is easy. Not just this particular commandment, but any commandment. It's not easy. It's not burdensome if you're following the Lord. If you're seeking to please the master, then you know you must not do these things. And so I'm going to stop the video there this morning. Give us something to think about over the weekend, right? Um, Come Monday, we will pick back up with the Ten Commandments. I hope you enjoy your weekend. I hope you get time with your family. Again, if you have any comments or prayer requests, please put those in the comments section below. And don't forget to love on one another appropriately and live out your faith. Have a great day.